Hello, my name is Leah. Today I decided that I hate myself and want to suffer. In middle school, I was convinced that I was going to become a famous singer, and so I started writing songs, as one does. And so I thought it would be just a grand old time to take a look at some of the songs that I wrote in middle school and use these songs as prompts to give some book recommendations as well. I have no idea if this is gonna work out at all. And I really don't know how many songs are actually in this. I haven't looked at the journal because I really wanted, for some reason, to give you just my visceral reaction of reading the stuff that I wrote in middle school, because it's gonna be a grand old time. Because I thought it would be more secure and less people would find it, I actually wrote starting from the back, and starting from the front, I pretended like it was a dream diary, when really, that was just a cover for my songwriting in the back. Let's just jump right in. First thing right off the back, we have 2 pages that have been torn out. I don't think intentionally, I think they literally just fell out. So we have a song called The First Time, which I wrote in February of 2009. How old would I have been then? I would have been 10 when I wrote this song. I do not remember the tune, although I know I did have some sort of melody going on because I do remember like actually singing these, and I think I showed some of them to my friend Maddie. But just think of the most like generic pop song mixed with Hannah Montana that you can think of, and that's pretty much the vibe of all of these. So, The First Time. Ever had one of those days where nothing seems to go your way? Ever had one of those days when you had to find your own way? I love rhyming way with way. That was a very clever lyric there. And that's the whole verse, just 2 lines. That's the whole thing. Then we move on to the bridge, just a little further and you'll see. Yeah, you'll see. And on to the chorus. Nobody gets it right the first time. Nobody's perfect the first time. You just gotta practice and you'll see. Nobody's perfect the first time. I feel like I was definitely channeling Hannah Montana into this one. I clearly have not been hit with any doses of existential angst yet. And then we move on to verse number 2. So if you're having one of those days where nothing's going your way, if you just can't get it right, remember, chorus, nobody gets it right the first time. Wow, that... I love it. That's just, it's so pure. Like, what happened to me? This is surprising also coming from my middle school self because I was miserable all of the time. Like, I had crippling social anxiety. I could not talk to anyone. It was just, you know, it was middle school. So I think that I was definitely trying to like channel the positive. I think this song was written for me. I love it. Also, apparently I used to write my A's like that. So, a book recommendation. Clearly this song is about trying and trying again. Oh my gosh, I think the music just came back to me. I think it was like, nobody gets it right the first time. Nobody's perfect the first time. Okay. That was what it was. Oh my gosh. Why did that just like shunt itself into my brain? That's crazy. I can't believe I remember that. Anyways, I think for this one, the book I'm going to recommend is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I'm sorry. I bought this book and wanted to read it because of Christine, because I love her channel and I wanted to support her, but I was actually pleasantly surprised that I flew through it and I loved the story. I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, and the thing that made me think of this book is somewhat of a spoiler, but the tagline is, what would you do with a second chance? And the main character, Shane, definitely struggles with some like social anxiety and some fear at the beginning, and the lyric, nobody gets it right the first time, is fitting for Again But Better. The next song on the list is Things Unsaid, dedicated to my middle school crush. This crush I think only lasted for like a month or 2, but I clearly thought it was love. So, we begin. When I look into your eyes, a million thoughts cross my mind. Thoughts about us, and what it'd be like if, what if, were true. Then on to the chorus. The things unsaid is what's tearing me apart. Want to run into your arms, but they are way too far. Shouted across the room, but you probably wouldn't hear me. The things unsaid, I love you. Verse 2, you two don't look like you're together. She always turns her head away, and that's what bugs me more than ever, because you know you could have me. Okay, that verse, I remember. My crush was dating someone at the time. I say dating because we were 10. And I vividly remember just being so annoyed by that, not only because obviously I liked him, but also because they legit just like never talked. Like, as far as I could tell, I was just seeing them at school. But the last line, because you know you could have me, I actually asked him to a Sadie Hawkins dance while he was dating someone else. I'm ashamed of myself. Middle school Leah did not understand boundaries, apparently. But that's what that means. Like, he knew that I liked him, and he actually led me on. Like, he said that he'd rather go with me than with her, but then never broke up with her or anything. So honestly, we were both very much at fault there. Anyways, we repeat the chorus. The things unsaid is what's tearing me apart. And then I have little music with squiggly lines for an instrumental. Don't know what the music sounds like, but that's where it would go. And then verse 3, why is there a comma there? I don't know. Then I finally got up the courage to ask you for myself, if you loved me as much as I love you. The things unsaid is what's tearing me apart. Want to run into your arms, but they are way too far. Shouted across the room, but you probably wouldn't hear me. The things unsaid. And then that's where it ends. I do remember feeling very clever for leaving out the I love you right there at the end, because it's unsaid, even though in the song I literally say that I told him how I felt. This one I think is a step up from the other one. Still not great, obviously, but I was 10. So, The Things Unsaid. Let's see, what book am I recommending for this song about my middle school crush? For this song, I'm going to be recommending The Siren by Kiera Cass. This is a book following a girl named Kaylin, who is a siren. You become a siren by being rescued by the ocean, but your voice is deadly to normal humans. One day, Kaylin meets a boy, of course, but she can't speak, and so they have to communicate in other ways, and that's the book, basically. I absolutely love Kiera Cass. She is one of my favorite, like, guilty pleasure writers. Not guilty pleasure in terms of them being, like, bad books or anything. There's just something so addictive about her books and her writing, and anytime I read something by her, I binge it so fast. This took me like a day to read. Anyways, my song made me think of this book because obviously as a siren, she can't speak, so there's that whole aspect of the things unsaid. She also has to keep the fact that she's a siren a secret, and I also like the little tag up here which says love is a risk worth taking, so I think the theme of taking the risk, putting yourself out there, saying the things that need to be said, it fits with this book. That's my recommendation. Okay, the next song that we have in my journal is called Waiting and Praying. This one, it says it was written in February 2011. So I didn't actually date The Things Unsaid, but this one is 2011, so we are 12 years old now. And this one is also dedicated to another of my middle school crushes. This guy I liked for like a solid year though, so this one was very serious. And I knew him from my youth group, not from my school, so that's probably where the whole waiting and praying came from. Anyways, let us begin. I have loved guys before, but it has never felt like this. It's so strange and I'm not sure. Is that what that says? It's so strange and I not sure. There's no I'm, it just says not sure. It's so strange and I not sure. Now sitting in the classroom. Okay, I'm just all sorts of confused about these lyrics. Now sitting in the classroom, it's getting harder to keep focused. I keep thinking about you, and I'm saying to myself, is this what love is really supposed to be? There were like no rhymes in that. What? Okay. I also didn't mark verse and chorus on this one, so I'm just kind of guessing. I think that was the verse/bridge, and now we're on to the chorus. And I'm waiting for you to sweep me off my feet. And I'm praying for you to realize you love me. But until that day comes, I'll keep waiting and praying for you. Watching you from a distance, can't believe there's so many butterflies. You're so different from all the others, and I definitely can't speak? I can't read my handwriting. And I definitely can't speak when you come and talk to me. That was the social anxiety. I'm really loving this feeling, and I'm saying to myself, is this what love is really supposed to be? Would you just say you love me? Tell me what I want to hear, that you can't live without me, because I feel the same about you, and right now I'm saying to myself, is this what love is really supposed to be? Okay, and then the chorus, and then that's the song. This was the first guy that I liked that I just never told that I liked him, because after the fiasco of my last crush, I just decided I'm done with that. I'm just gonna see what happens and never tell anyone how I feel. Also, I love how casually I throw around the word love at 12 years old. I am very certain that if I had dated any of these guys that I would have said I love you within the first 3 days, like for sure. Also, reading this is just bringing back all of these memories of how I was with these crushes. And I just think these lyrics are so funny because there's such a sense of like entitlement to their attention and affection. Like, I didn't understand that these were just different people with different thoughts and different beings than myself. I don't know, when you're young, it's hard to conceptualize the idea of another person having a separate consciousness from you, if that makes sense. It's not like I thought that he was thinking the same things that I was. It's just hard to think about another person's perspective. And so I was like, clearly I'm in love with you. Why aren't you in love with me back? It just didn't make sense in my head. But then there's the whole, I definitely can't speak when you come and talk to me, which was very true. Like, I got so tongue-tied anytime he would talk to me. We barely even had a friendship, let alone anything that could have led to like a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. So it's just funny to me. All right, Waiting and Praying. What is my book recommendation for this song? I think for this one, I'm going to shout out the Mortal Instruments series because there is a lot of longing that goes on between the ships in this whole thing. Clearly there's the whole Clary Jace thing. There's definitely some angst there, but what made me really think about this one was Simon, because I feel like his whole shtick at the beginning is just like waiting for Clary to wake up and realize that he's the one that she should be with. I don't think he's ever like super entitled towards her attention, but there definitely is some sort of element of entitlement within his jealousy of Jace, because Simon's like, I'm the one who's been here for you this whole time, like I'm your best friend, you know me, you just met this guy. There's a hint of that like entitlement aspect within Simon's perspective on Clary at the beginning of the series anyways. Okie dokie. Let's see, what do we have next? Next we have one called Thought You Were the One, but it's all scribbled out, so clearly I never finished this. This one, I guess I must have like skipped a page on accident or something, because this one is dedicated to the same guy as The Things Unsaid, which is 7th grade for me. The other one, Waiting and Praying, was definitely 8th grade. But anyways, this one is, now that I'm done putting up with all your lies, I've come undone, and I'm so glad I've moved on. I've found someone else who'll appreciate me for me. Can't believe that I thought you were the one, but all you did was bring heartbreak. That's a weird way to say that. And now that you've had your fun and left me in broken pieces, I thought you were the one. So I was not over it, clearly, but I was trying to convince myself of that. I still think I must have skipped a page, but this might have been at the beginning of my crush on the other guy, but I was still kind of like salty that he didn't actually date me. Ooh, for this one, I'm going to recommend A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Clearly we all know about these books by now. The most recent one actually just came out, I think like a few days ago or like a few weeks ago, something like that. There's some different stuff going on in this, and just being upset that someone didn't like you back is not at all what Feyre is going through in this. This book definitely deals with letting someone go who was abusive, so it's like a whole different situation than just being spiteful. But this was what I thought of first, because a lot of it is dealing with the pain from a previous relationship and moving on with someone who is new and better than that other person. We got a fun one next called Hey All You Singles. I think I was not feeling great about Valentine's Day when I wrote this one, because it is February 9th, 2011. Here we go. When you look at him, but this time the feelings suck. Lyrical. I know, great. Don't worry, you'll get over it soon. I have been there, done that, and look, I survived. It's not as bad as it seems, and so I say, hey, all you singles, I'm right there with you. Don't think you're not good enough, or beautiful or smart enough. They just don't see it. Repeat chorus. And then on to the next verse. Move on to another guy if the last one wasn't right. Next time you see him, turn away. If he's for real, he'll treat you much better, and you won't have as much heartbreak. And so I say, hey all you singles, repeat the chorus. And then I think this is supposed to be a bridge of some sort, but there will always be someone better. But think of how it'll be when you find the real one. And then again, the chorus, hey all you singles, I'm right there with you. You're totally good enough and beautiful and smart enough. They just don't see it. Hey all you singles, I'm right there with you. Someone thinks you're good enough and beautiful and smart enough. Save yourself for him. I love how the framework of, hey, you're single and that's okay, you're good enough, is framed around there will be another guy. I was so boy obsessed in middle school. Oh my gosh. Honestly though, my memories of middle school all revolve around pining after some guy. Like, I'm sure it didn't actually take up every waking moment of my life, but I definitely just, my whole life revolved around thinking about whatever guy that I liked at the time, and it was very obsessive and not healthy at all. But that's just part of being a preteen, is trying to figure out how to deal with these new emotions and, you know, dealing with your own sense of self in the middle of all that. And so it's just a tumultuous time. But let's think of a book. What sort of book goes along with this song? I don't even know. Y'all, I don't even know about this one, honestly. I'm trying to think of a book where someone is like perpetually single, or they feel like they're not good enough for their partner, but that's like every single young adult book. I guess if I had to pick one, I would go with Uglies by Scott Westerfield, just because there is that whole theme about making yourself pretty enough, making yourself the ideal. But she gets like, there's like 3 different dudes who are in love with her throughout this series, so it doesn't really fit. Clearly she's getting the attention, both when she's an ugly and when she's a pretty. So I guess this is my recommendation for this one, Uglies by Scott Westerfield. Next is called My Imagination, written on February 14th, 2011, aka Valentine's Day. I feel like there's a theme about me writing songs in February near Valentine's Day. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The third time comes around, not even sure if I want to go there. I don't want to get it wrong for the 3rd time in a row. I hope I'm not wrong and I can't see how we could happen. I can't take any more of all this guesswork. I really hope this is not just my imagination. Was that a flirty look, or were you just saying hi? Was that a plot to get near me, or did you just want to talk to my best friend? Were you looking at me or the stuff behind me? I can't take it anymore. Insert chorus. I don't know which part is the chorus. I really love you, but I can't tell if you like me back. I wish you could come right out and say it. Insert chorus again. Don't know which part is the chorus. It's just my imagination. Don't just be my imagination. My imagination. The angst is real, y'all, but legitimately, like, that's all I would do. Like I said, my every waking moment was spent thinking about these guys that I like. It's because I was analyzing like every single movement that they made around me, trying to figure out if they liked me back. They didn't. None of them did. Weirdly enough, I think I'm going to pick up Catching Fire for this one, just because I feel like the Katniss-Peeta relationship, which definitely is not the focus of the books, but I feel like Katniss in this book is trying to differentiate when Peeta is actually being genuine with her, what parts of the way that he treats her are because he actually cares, or if it's just for their relationship for the cameras. So I feel like that, just sort of trying to analyze actions and figure out what the true motives are, applies to her Peeta relationship, but also to her relationship with the other tributes, with the other people from the Capitol, because she doesn't really know who's on her side and who's fighting against her. How many songs are in this thing? I'm ready for this to be over. We got another redacted song. Why is it that when I'm around you, my insides freeze? And please tell me why, when I see your blue eyes, they melt again. I've known you for a long while, and I've never seen you in this new light. Please tell me what is happening. All right, I'm not gonna do a book recommendation for that one. That one's just funny. Oh, interesting. Apparently I rewrote Waiting and Praying. This would have been 6 months later, so this is August of 2011. The chorus is the same, but I rewrote the verses, so it's my heart is beating faster, I look into your eyes, time passes slower, and what I feel is no surprise. I'm aching for that touch that you would never give. It's then that I realize, without you, I can't live. Okay, well, definitely better than the first version. Still not great, but whoa, crazy, I've got some rhymes in there. Oh, and then the next verse is, I want to take that first step, but I fear my own heartbreak. So I love you in silence, it doesn't satisfy my ache. Burning down inside me is the will to overcome, but it's locked up by rejection and the key is too far gone. Okay, well, at least I'm starting to realize that I'm the one sabotaging myself. It's not that the other guys are doing something to spite me. I'm the one who's at fault here because I can't get over myself and just go talk to them. So that's the updated version of Waiting and Praying. And then next we have a blank page and 2016. What? I graduated high school in 2016. I did not even know that I was writing songs in high school. Oh my gosh. Let's see what 18-year-old Leah wrote. There's an ocean below, but there's nowhere else to go. I'm not ankle deep in your love, not anymore. The tide pulled me in, away from the shore. Lost in a sea of ecstasy, and baby, you're the ocean. You sweep my feet off the ground. You make me fly, and you make me drown. I don't know why I'm so high. No one else, I'll confess, that yes, I am breathless. Still not the best, but wow, I understand language a little bit more now. We've got some alliteration going on. Cool, cool, cool. The sky up above reminds me of your love. The storm clouds are rolling in, now for the pain. The wind pulls me close, straight towards the rain. Lost in the gale of wind and hail, and baby, you're the sky. Chorus ×2. And then ending with, yes, I am breathless. Okay, well, that was interesting. Who would have that been about? 2016. I was definitely dating someone at that time that I can think of, but I don't see this being about them because there wasn't any pain associated with that relationship. Like, that was actually a really good relationship that ended like on good terms. I think I brainstormed that one probably a year or two before and actually just wrote and put it together my senior year. Okay, well, let's find a book for that one. I think for this one, I'm going to go with Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I feel like the emotions of that song in terms of, you know, the dichotomy between just feeling absolutely wonderful with that person and absolutely heartbroken with that person kind of fits with the relationship in this book. For sure, some problematic things about the way that they come together. There's some cheating involved, and the framing around that sort of excuses the cheating because it's like, oh, but he wasn't supposed to be with that person. This is the true love, which I definitely don't agree with. I think that there are many people in the world that if you choose to be with that person and choose to put in the effort for that relationship, you can be happy and content with a lot of different people. I don't think there's any like soulmate in terms of, oh, well, this is the end goal, so cheating on my other girlfriend or my other boyfriend is okay because they weren't the one that I was meant to be with. Anyways, all that aside, there's definitely an element of this person makes me feel so good, you know, the sea of ecstasy, while also there being a lot of pain and longing and heartbreak around that relationship because of the circumstances that these characters are in. So yeah, that is all I'm going to be doing for now. There's some other lyrics in this and some incomplete songs that I have, but this video is getting long, and so I think this is a good spot to cut it off with the last fully written song that I have in this journal. Thank you for watching. This was a roller coaster for me. I very much enjoyed reading some of this stuff back. It was cringe for sure, but it's fun to make fun of yourself as well. And middle school me is oh so very easy to make fun of. But anyways, that is all that I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.